Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkirpa Tadham Bande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Brahmanand Madhvam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांतो स्वामीति नामिने नामस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव सदि गौर भक्त वृंदा पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तारूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारम भक्त्यखम नमामि भक्ति शक्तिकम जय 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 श्री 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 राधा श्याम सुंदर भगवान की जय श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम भगवान की जय इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य ही दिवांग श्री प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय शंबल भक्त वृंद की जय निताई गौर प्रेमनंदी हरि हरि बोल थैंक यू हरे कृष्णा सो श्री राधे माता जी वेलकम हरे कृष्णा होप यू हैड a good trip माता जी
Yes, Prabhuji.
trip
Great.
that you enjoyed. It's always great going back. And I'm sure you might have gone to some holy places or could not make it.
Krishna, yes, Krishna's mercy, I was able to go all the three places, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Krishna took me to Jagannath Ratha Yatra.
Oh, so you were there on the Rath Yatra day?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh my gosh. Then you are very, very merciful. You got a lot of blessings now.
Jagannath's mercy, Prabhuji.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, my wife was there, but she was just like few days back before. But being on the Rath Yatra day is like super powerful. Wow, that's supremely good. That's very good. That's really nice. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we can get into the discussion. We are going to talk about Bhava Bhakti, love in ecstasy for Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the chapters are a little big and it has so many items that we have to try to go through. So let's see how much we can do today. And then we'll try to do some of next class. So the first part, we just finished Raganuga Bhakti. So first part of the discussion, we are going to see how from Raganuga Bhakti one can elevate to the Bhava Bhakti. And then Bhava Bhakti has two major, characteristic, primary and marginal. Then we'll try to uh, dive deeper into those two qualities or characteristic of the Bhava Bhakti. And then we'll try to understand how one can attain the Bhava Bhakti. So that's what we'll try to do. And then what happens when one is already attained the Bhava Bhakti? If you have, then what's the quality of that person? So that will be our next chapter. But at least first we have to understand what is Bhava Bhakti, what are some of the specific characters of the Bhava Bhakti, and then how we can attain the Bhava Bhakti. My dear devotees, this is very confidential topic. So we are up here like 50,000 feet high. So these things uh, is hard to express. These things are hard also to try to explain. And if somebody would say that, oh, I can explain it, what exactly it is, I don't know what is the reality with that. So you have to basically be very careful and also try to understand that These are mostly theory that we are going to go through. I mean, it's really high, very, very high stage. But this course has, or Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu has this within the scope of our study. So we'll try to understand that. Before we do that, it's always good to see what are the some of the starting point. So what I did is that I pulled out some verses, and Prabhupada is giving more detail purport on particular words here in his summary. So we'll just try to see how we can even come to the stage of Bhava Bhakti, and then we'll see the definition. यही मत करे एवं रागानुगा भक्ति कृष्णेरा चरणे तारा उपजाय प्रीति यही मत यही मत करे एवं whoever does it raganuga bhakti. So we just finished the raganuga bhakti, kama, kam, raganuga bhakti, or sambandh raganuga bhakti. What is raganuga bhakti? It is the definition of the raganuga bhakti is coming from ragatmika bhakti. What is the ragatmika bhakti? Ragatmika bhakti is seen with brajvasis, and in that stage of bhakti there is no rules and regulation that one has to follow, because sadhana bhakti has two part, Vaidhi bhakti and Raganuga bhakti. Vaidhi bhakti, it takes us to the stage where we have now become a spontaneous nature to love. We don't have to really force ourselves to love Krishna. Rather, the soul has purified and come to that stage where they are always in the remembrance of Krishna, always remembering who is Krishna. So, so that we talked last time. So Raganuga Bhakti, यही मत यही मत करे एवं Raganuga Bhakti. This is my basically mata, means this is my opinion that whoever does Raganuga Bhakta, who is engaged in Raganuga Bhakti, Krishnera Charane Tara Upajaya Priti. So that person from Vaidhi Bhakti come to Raganuga Bhakti, and that stage we are constantly engaged, consistently engaged in doing the Raganuga Bhakti. Then at due course of time, Tara Upajaya Priti, that person will have awakening of the love for Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prema, Prema Pumartho Mahan. What is the goal of our life? Goal of our life is not to be X, not to be Y, not to be G, whatever occupation, whatever title, whatever expertise we have got, all of that is basically to help us come to the stage where we have Upajaya Krishna Priti. It should awaken the love for Krishna. So Bhava and Prema are very, very advanced stage. But Bhava is in fact Prem. Bhava is in fact Prem. And we'll see what exactly is Bhav. So when we are saying Upajaya Priti, means the love for Krishna has awakened, and that love may be at the Bhava stage or may be at the fully matured stage, Prema stage. प्रीति अंकुरे रति भावा हय दुई नाम यह हईते वास हया श्री भगवान प्रीति अंकुरे rati. So once we have come to the stage uh, where we have pure love, or we have come to the stage of prema, bhakti, that sometimes is known as rati, sometimes is known as bhav. So duinam, haya duinam, it has two names, rati and bhava. Yaha haite vasa hana siri bhagwan. So once we come to that stage, the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes under the control of such attachment. Very high thing. So now we are talking about, the love is so intense that by love One is very much or very much can control Atmaramasya Munyam Nirgrantha Purukame Kuruvanti Hetuki Bhakti Etam Bhuti Gunohari. This is, Krishna. All the great list says or Atma who do not need anything else. There is no desire. They are worshipping Krishna. And that person, when we have this very high stage of attachment, then he comes in control of a devotee. And that stage sometimes known as Rati, sometimes known as Bhava. Same name. Yaha haite pai Krishnera prema sevana eita kahilu avidheya vivarna. Vivarana. Vivarana. Vivarna means explanation. So yaha haite pai Krishnera prema sevana. So whoever, now we have come to the stage Raganunga Bhakti takes to the Bhava Bhakti. Bhava Bhakti is the stage where we are very much receiving the ray, like in the morning ray. Before sun comes, there is dawn, right? So the Bhava is basically that dawn stage before sun shines. So one has come to that stage. How one can come to that stage? Aita kahilum avidya vivarana. So one has to engage. Badhi Bhakti, we are going back now. One can come here, but come through Badhi Bhakti. So Sambandha, Pariyojana, and Abhidheya, we'll talk about that. So if you are really trying to be greedy, or if you are trying to come to this stage, go back. A process of retrogradation, right? Cycle. If you want to come here, you have to go there. So this is how it is. So whoever is interested to come to this stage of Krishna Prema, they have to focus on what? Abhidheya Sadhana Bhakti Ebe Kahilum Sanatana Sanchepa Kahilum Vistara Nayaya Varnana. So Varnan. So this is discussion going on between Mahaprabhu and Sanatana Goswami. So Mahaprabhu is basically explaining that to Sanatana Goswami. What is the process for one to come to the stage of Bhava Bhakti? That's why it's very, very important to hear from Mahaprabhu. So whatever verses that we have gone through, those are the verses that cited by Mahaprabhu to Sanatana Goswami. That here is the process. Okay. So my dear Sanatan, I have briefly described you the process of devotional service in practice, abhidhaya, which is the means for obtaining the love of Krishna. It cannot be described broadly. Okay, so devotional service in practice, devotional service in bhakti can, abhidhaya in practice, can lead one to the stage of prema bhakti. Avidya sadhana bhakti, avidya sadhana bhakti, shune jana, achirat payasei Krishna prema dhana. All coming from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So avidya sadhana bhakti, sune jana, achirat for long term, payasei Krishna prema dhana. Whoever hears this description of the process of practical devotional service very soon attain shelter at the lotus feet of the Krishna in love and affection. Okay, so you would say uh, why we are talking about this, right? We are talking about this because this is not just some imaginary concept, that there is something like that called bhava bhakti, or there is something like that that's called prema bhakti, but it's unattainable. We can never attain that stage. No matter what you do, you cannot get there. So here, Mahaprabhu is confirming this is a critical devotional service. Okay, this is very critical. Whatever we have taught is very critical, and one can attain by this critical process the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why That's why Brahmado Gauriya Sampradaya is very, very powerful Sampradaya. The teaching that we get is extremely powerful. Why? Because Krishna himself is saying that the process that I'm giving, the process that I'm explaining to you, by this process, one can come to the stage where one can take the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna in pure love and affection. So very, very, substantial. And then there are some description about sambandha, vidya, and prayojana. So can one of you explain what is sambandha, what is vidya, what is prayojana? Anybody can do. Anybody can unmute yourself and explain what exactly is these three terms. Dasindu Mataji, can you try?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can try. So sambandha is a relationship one has with the Lord, and abhidaya is the devotional service that is performed in that relationship with the Lord, and prayojana is the result of that the devotional service.
Exactly. Thank you. So these three things, all the Vedic knowledge that that we hear or we talk about through the you know Bhagavatam classes or Sunday Feast class or online listening that you all have been doing, the entire Vedic knowledge can be put into this three category. Some part of knowledge that help us develop our sambandha, relationship with the Lord, who we are, Jivara Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das. What is the nature of the soul, who is Atma, and how Atma is related with Paramatma, who is Bhagwan. So this type of things, we study. All of that is Sambandha. Okay, this is Sambandha part. So Sambandha is very important because before we act, we have to have the Sambandh relationship. For example, all of you are mothers and fathers, right? And wives and husbands too. So you are acting in that relationship. All of you are acting in that relationship. You have different way of acting with your wives and husbands. You have different ways of acting with your son and daughters. You have different ways of acting with me. You have different ways of acting with your neighbors. So most of the action activity that we see, that's being happening, that's being going on, has some sambandha. Professor has sambandha for their students, guru shishya sambandha, so sambandha has to be there. The former, the deeper the sambandha is, the more one has desire to serve and please. So sambandha, and then avidya, we talked about 64 limbs of the bhakti, right? We just finished. So those 64 limbs that we went through were basically giving us the idea that how you can act, okay? How one can act in particular relationship. You do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. So those are the list of items. Those are list of the activity that we can do in that particular sambandha, the sambandha that we have with the Lord. And then what happens with that sambandh? We have a result. Okay, prayojana. And what is the prayojana? Prayojana is basically Krishna Prem, Bhava, Bhav, coming to the stage of uh, Krishna Prem. That's why we say that anything that's being done, there is no other goal. Upjaya Priti. We heard that it should awaken Priti, love for Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if it's not done in the right mood, then it is not going to awaken. That's why service is the reward. Who has gotten the opportunity to serve or do any devotional service, that decision you and I can't make. It's coming from Lord Himself. Whatever capacity we are serving, Krishna engage that person or that soul in the service. That's powerful mercy. So that's why anybody who is serving consistently, you have to know that that person has received the mercy of Krishna, Guru and Acharya. Because what will happen that by acting in that sambandha at due course of time, pariyojana will be achieved, right? And that's what exactly this verse is telling here. That's what exactly this verse is telling. That achirat paya sei Krishna premadhana. If one is acting, chirat means long, achirat means very quickly. Achirat, very quickly. If one is acting and trying to serve Krishna, then very soon they would come to that stage where they will attain Krishna Premadhana. Okay, so that's why this concept of Sambandha, Avidya, and Pariyojana is given. Okay, so now we understand what is Bhav and how we can come to Bhav. So let's try to understand the very technical definition of Bhava Bhakti. Okay, so that's the definition. That's the definition of Bhava Bhakti. We saw the definition of Samanya Bhakti. We saw the definition of Badi Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, and Badi Bhakti. We saw the definition of Raganuga Bhakti. Let's see the definition of Bhava Bhakti. And what is Bhava Bhakti? Shuddh Shattva Visheshatma Prema Suryamshu Samya Bhak Ruchibhis Chita Masaranya Kridashau Bhava Uchyate. So Shuddha Sattva Vishesh Atma. Okay, Shuddha Sattva. All of you know that bhakti is pure goodness. Right? So Shuddha Sattva Vishesh Atma. That soul who are in Shuddha Sattva stage, right? Not in the passion, not in the goodness, Shuddha Sattva stage. That itself is a very important concept that we have to understand. If you are, or if we are in the mode of passion, then we have to come to the mode of goodness. And if we are consistently staying in the mode of goodness, then we'll be transcended to the mode of Suddha Sattva, pure goodness. That is why, there is one word come in Shastra out of 26 quality. One quality is that devotee is very grave. Okay, grave. Why? Because a devotee who is advanced in their consciousness will always try to retain the Suddha Sattva stage. Because unless and until you are not in the goodness stage, Sattva stage, you cannot come to the Suddha Sattva stage. It's not like that, you are in the ignorance, doing all the mundane thing and thinking that one day will become, light will open and suddenly I'll become, pure devotee. That doesn't happen. So one has to really work on oneself, come from tamoguna to rajaguna and rajaguna to satoguna. And how? By developing the good quality, by being humble, by not fighting, not criticizing people, not unnecessarily getting distracted with so many stuff, so many things out there in the material world you can do. Okay, but if you want to really come to the higher stage, you have to know what to do, what not to do. Okay, people will come and ask you, should I do this, should I do that? Yeah, you can do everything, anything that you want to do. But if you want to really come to the higher stage, then you have to retain the lower stage for some time. Then you'll be promoted to the higher stage, not back and forth. Most of the time our stage is mix, tamo, rajo, sato, all three mix. Sometimes tamo is dominant, sometimes rajo is dominant. Okay, so suddha sattva visheshatma. First thing is that that atma has to be Shuddha Sattva. Prema Suryamshu Samya Bhag. So Prema or Suryamshu Samya Bhag. If one is in the Shuddha Sattva stage, then what happens is that one will be transcended to the Prema. And what is that Prema? Not complete pure Prema, but Suryamshu Samya Bhag. Like the before sun shine, before sun rises, before sun comes on the horizon, there is time where there's very light, mild, soft rays coming. That one is Suryamshu. Okay, dawn time, sun is trying to come up. So before one get into the prema stage, one start basically feeling some part of the prema. Ruchi vis chita masarnaya kridashav bhava uchyate. And that stage, what happens, masranya refers to one heart becomes soft. Okay, so at that stage, once come to the stage of bhakti, advanced stage of bhakti, one's heart becomes soft. Okay, krid asau bhava uchyate. That stage is called bhava. Okay, so softening of the heart, suddha sattva, visheshatma, always staying in suddha sattva stage. With due course of time, the heart become soft. Okay, and what is the softening of the heart? Softening of the heart has multi-layer meaning. The very common, very simple meaning of the softening of the heart is that one will become very compassionate towards all living being, or those that see. Okay, one would not see any fault in any other living being. One would not compare based on their their material designation. I'm superior because I have XYZ, he's inferior. So those type of things has to come, develop in one's personality. Okay, be honest. Be no left, no right. I will be killed, it's okay. Keep quiet, that's also fine. Some of those things are symptom of softening of the heart. The deeper meaning of the softening of heart is that the name of Krishna will appear to you as Krishna himself. When we hear the holy name, when we are hearing the pastime, one thing that I struggle a lot, people have no taste for hearing. When we do some festival, they will push lecture and they want more this song, this drama, that drama, but no lecture. And I say we must have to have the lecture, whichever way I can. It's very important. How come we do everything and we don't hear the pastime? There is no taste for hearing. So the taste for hearing has to come. Should hearing, devotional service, pastime of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So once heart becomes soft, then then there will be ruchi. There will be, you have asakti, ruchi, all of that we have crossed. There will be deep attachment for the holy name and pastime, Rup Gun Lila of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so what we'll do is that we'll try to see some more, definitions. So এই দুই ভাবের স্বরূপা তটচ্ছ লক্ষণ প্রেমারা Lakshana eve suna sanatana. So these two different symptoms that we just talked, constitutional and marginal. Now, my dear Sanatan, listen. These are the symptoms of love. These are the symptoms of bhava. So in bhava stage, there are two symptoms. One is called Sarup Lakshana, and the first one is called Sarup Lakshana, and second one is called Tataksh Lakshana, right? So we have heard about this word, Sarup Shakti, right? Tataksh Shakti. So the Sarup Shakti is primary character of Bhava Bhakti, and Tatastha Lakshana is the marginal character of the Bhava Bhakti. So in Bhava Bhakti, there are two characters, there are two symptoms of the Bhava Bhakti. And the first one is Sudh Sattva Vishesh Atma. And second one is Ruchi Bhi Chita Masarnaya. So Shuddh Sattva Vishesh Atma. One cannot go to Bhava Bhakti unless and until one is in Shuddh Sattva. So that person who is in Bhava Bhakti will be always in Shuddh Sattva. Okay, always. That means one is at the platform of pure love. Ahitukiya pratihata yatmasu prasiddhati. Savayvamsa. No, for all living being, what is their param dharma? Savayamsa, savai pumsam paro dharma. Yatho bhakti adhokaja. Engaging into the devotional service of adhokchaje, one who cannot be perceived by senses. How? Ahituki apratihata. Without any motivation and without any interruption. So Shuddh Sattva stage, one will be in the stage of Shuddh Sattva. And then the second character that would be seen in a person who are in the Bhava stage, he will have soft heart. Okay, and we'll try to understand what is the meaning of the soft heart. Soft heart basically gives intense attachment. Softening of the heart gives intense attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, that's what softness of the heart is. Can we be humble? Very difficult. Very difficult. Dear devotees, I do services where I deal with people, and I can tell you, I read, what platform people are talking to me. Somebody comes with this pride, somebody comes with that pride, somebody comes with that pride, somebody comes with this pride. So many prides I see. But I all the time pray, my dear Lord, let me go down. Whoever coming, let me try to serve. Let me try to be soft. Let me try to get through it. It takes, this is real life Krishna consciousness. That will teach you. If you can work with people, you are really, living a real Krishna consciousness life. People will come from all sides, from all background, all perspective, all degree of consciousness, and you have to deal with everybody. This is a very big challenge. And only way you can work, you stay humble. You don't show your pride, your what when you look at me, what Krishna has not given to me. I'm highly educated, very good academic, very good job, I'm scientist, all of that. But still people come to me and talk to me like that I'm nobody. And I think that I at that time I have to be nobody. Just be nobody. Ahituke pratihata. There is nobody. Just so that's what, in Sikshastakam, what Mahaprabhu is saying, third verse, you know, very clearly that amananiya mandena, unless and until you don't come to that stage where you are giving love and respect to the one who don't even deserve, kirtaniya sadahari. Okay, so bhava and raganuga stage, you cannot come very easily. Okay, you have to always look on your heart, what exactly you are striving for. Let all the duality, come around you. Let all that ups and downs come around you. Let everything, all the bad and good emotion comes around you, but you should be stable. Make a strong wall around you and let everything reflect back. But you yourself very strongly holding the feet. All of that is happening because you want to be a devotee. Krishna has given you opportunity to go through this process. So Suddha Sattva Vishesh Atma is very, very, very important. Very, very important. And you read Prabhupada's summary, and we'll talk some of these things, if we get part of the Bhagavatam course. So try to come to the higher stage. Okay, cross all of these hurdles. Emotions are there, but work on your emotion, control it, subside it, don't let it flow. Then kirtaniya sadhari, then the ruchi, for holy name will develop. Unless and until we don't pass a test, we have to come back. Krishna will create another situation where we have to give the same exam. We failed, then after 6 months, Krishna will create another situation. Okay, so the secret of success is that not going up, going down. Gopi bhartau padakam layor das das anudas. Okay, I am servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. So this is what basically we learn from here. So let's try to understand. We have 20 minutes. What is uh, this term that we saw, Suddha Sattva Vishesh Atma? Okay, now we are getting a little bit more close to Krishna. So we know that there are three Shakti of Lord: eternal potency, then Tatastha Shakti, and then the external energy, right? External energy, manifestation of the Lord, external energy is this whole creation, right? This whole Sarga and Visarga. Bhagavatam says Sarga and Visarga. So this whole creation is Lord's external energy, and the living entity or marginal. Okay, and then Lord has internal energy, the spiritual world. Okay, so external energy has multiple distinction, but marginal is just the living being, and internal energy is of three types. Okay, it's called Antarang Shakti, Tatastha Shakti, and Bhirang Shakti. So this Antarang Shakti, Sharup Shakti, internal potency is Shamvit, Sandhini, and Haladini. Okay, so Samvit, Lord has Sat Chit Anand, three feature, right? So Shamvit refers to Chit Shakti, Gyan Shakti of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Sandhini refers to Shat, eternity, eternal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Haladini refers to Anand, uh, feature of the Lord. So Chit feature is basically represented by Yog Maya. Yog Maya, the Yog Maya, energy of the Lord is Chit Shakti, because she is the one who is managing. So she is knower of things. So Chit Shakti is basically the knowledge potency. Like we have to know Krishna. What is our relationship with Krishna? It's all part of the Chit Shakti. And Sandhini Shakti, the personification for Sandhini Shakti is Lord Balram. Okay, and everything that is staying together, like wall is standing there, you and I are standing, talking, things have some functionality, some internal and external qualities, right? Atom has some quality, proton has some quality, neutron has some, all of that, the specific, quality, intrinsic quality that particular object possesses, that, is basically Sandhini Shakti. And then everything is for Ananda, for bliss. And bliss personification is Srimati Radharani. Okay, so a person who are in Shuddh Sattva, a person who are Shuddh Sattva Vishesh Atma, he is he is realized with this three Shakti. That's very important point. I said that I don't know what I'm saying, but that's what Shastra said. You know, very, very important concept that at Bhava stage, when one is at the stage of Bhava, Krishna makes one realize his internal potency. Let us all pray so that one day we should be able to understand this Samvit Sandhani and Hladani Shakti. So this person here, Shuddha Sattva Vishesh Atma, this person is realized by these three potency. The total exhibition of these potencies is called Vishuddha Sattva. And this platform of spiritual variegatedness is displayed even in the material world when the Lord appears here. So some of the associates of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? They, although they come here, they are part of this pastime. Last Saturday, we had question about Haridas Thakur. Here you go. That's the answer. So it exists, but but that but those personality, they are Visuddha Sattva. They are not only, they are not only realize our limitation is that we are entrapped with the external energy of the Lord. We are not even very aware with the Maya has completely bound us, completely entrapped us, taken over. It will take time. But those personality, they are they are realized with the internal energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is how a prostitute, beautiful prostitute, will come in front of Haridas Thakur when he is 21 years old, pretty youth. She will expose herself, stay alone, nobody around, not one night, two night, three night, no impact. Why? Because Haridas Thakur knows who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. They are Visuddh, Suddh, Visuddh, completely Visuddh, Atma, completely always in a Shuddh stage. So nothing can contaminate that, So that what basically Bhava is there. So this gives you some quantitative understanding that what exactly is Vishuddh, stage. What is that Vishuddha Sattva stage? Quantitative understanding that what will happen at that stage? Well, at that stage, you will be exposed, you'll be realized about this, not fully though, but some extent. Lord is apremaya, apremaya. One cannot understand the limits of Lord. But pure devotee, depending on degree of surrender, they would be allowed to assess some of the internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then when Shuddha Sattva, Visuddha Sattva refers to those essential features which are a combination of Haladini and Samvit Shakti. At that stage of Bhava Bhakti, both of these Shakti descend into the heart of the devotee. Okay, so pray that this understanding will descend in our heart. Samyut Shakti causes us to know and perceive Krishna. So at that higher stage, this Chit Shakti, this is another beautiful. Now, if somebody will ask, what is the meaning? We say that Sat Chit Anand. What is the meaning of Chit Shakti at very higher stage? This is the meaning of the Chit Shakti at the very higher stage. That it allows us to know and perceive Krishna. And the Haladini Shakti is the cause, bliss, love that one has for Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so that's the real meaning. The beautiful picture that you can see here, that what is the relation between a plant and sunlight. They are too far away, but they are related. Okay, a seed turns into seedling, and a seedling turns into a small plant. A small plant become a big plant. Big plant will have multiple branches, you know, and then flower. All of that is happening through the process of photosynthesis, right? The food that plant is getting through the photosynthesis. And what governing all of that? Light of the sun. Sun is basically governing. So plant cannot grow without heat and light from sun. Similarly, the seed of prema bhakti, cannot sprout unless and until we are in the stage of Shuddha Sattva potency. And the early stage of that prem is Bhav. And then the second one is Ruchivhis, Chitta Masarnaya. So there will be softness of the heart, and Bhava soften the hearts and give real taste for the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And at that stage, there will be three types of aspiration that will arise in the heart. And it's all about serving Krishna, pleasing Krishna. So how I can meet Krishna, how I can serve Krishna, or how I can attain Krishna in Shakya Bhav or in Madhurya Bhav. So that's the stage. In Bhava stage, it's all about attaining Krishna and pleasing Krishna and serving Krishna. So that's basically stage, but that stage comes when one's heart has softened. Okay, and how we can see Bhava stage and Prema stage. Bhava stage is like a flower which is about to completely open up. Okay, it's in the budding stage. Okay, it has everything, all the petals are there, all the development has very much now ready to turn into a beautiful bigger plant. Okay, so Bhava stage is right before the Prema stage. Okay, but this softening of the heart is another important concept that comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, and Srimad Bhagavatam talks, basically it's come in the second canto, third chapter. Title of the chapter is Pure Devotional Service, the Change of the Heart. And it says that Tadasmasaram Hridayam Batedam. This heart, the heart that we have, is a still frame, extremely still frame. Now, what is the meaning of that still frame? The meaning of a still frame is pride. The meaning of that still frame is attachment of the things of the material world. The meaning of that still framing is lust, sensual pleasure. So all of that has basically still framed our heart. It has completely still framed our heart. And what's the outcome of that still framing? That still framing, what it's doing is that first, it doesn't let us have full concentration on the holy name or on the limbs of bhakti. Still find something. Don't worry too much. You yourself be responsible for your devotional service and some for paramartha also. We studied, that one of the limb is that devotee unnecessarily should not try to get into something that's not their cup of tea. Just the word to make the point clear. Don't necessarily try to be more smart than you are. No need.
Focus on the right priority. Maya has thousand way, millions and millions and billions of the way to distract you. Okay, so be yourself most of the time. Be yourself, talk to yourself. That's called Sronam, Kirtanam, and then Nididhyasnam. Okay, Sranam, Mananam, then Nididhyasnam. So Mananam is very, 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 it's part of our process. You will say, why Ramacharya is saying, I'm not saying something new. You know, Sranam has to happen. Right after Sranam, you have to have the Mananam. And then put both of these together and Nididhyasnam, your action, how you are acting. That's your, you know, the way you act is outcome of what you hold, my dear friends and devotees. So it's very important. Okay, so a still framing is not something just a concept, but in a practical way, a still framing is our attachment, our not, you know, having pure taste for the holy name, not having the taste to act and serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this still framing of the heart basically keep us, you know, distracted. And when this still framing is gone, then heart becomes soft. So this softness is being spoken here. Okay, this softness of the heart happens at the very higher stage of the devotional service. So one must endeavor, at least in this lifetime, one must come to this stage. 5 more minutes to go. Okay, so now how to attain Bhava Bhakti? Okay, well, there are two process, two pathway given. And I'm sure all of you are very, very aware with this. One is the pathway of bhakti, Vadi Bhakti, right? So there is sadhana, siddha, and there is, can somebody give me the word? What is another? Kripa siddha. Sadhana siddha, kripa siddha, and nitya siddha. Okay. So who knows the difference between these three siddhas? Sri Radhe Mataji, can you try to explain some of this? Who are Kripa Siddha and Sadhana Siddha and
I'm not recollecting, but I'll try to.
yes, Mataji, please try.
Siddha is a person who's trying by his sadhana, his endeavor.
Yes.
Kripasiddha is basically, it's like Jagai Madhai. He
Yes,
mercy.
exactly. 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 And Nitya Siddha is basically always engaged in devotional service, right? They are not, you know, allured. They are not, you know, encapsulated by the external energy of the Lord. They're always in Antaranga Shakti, although they come. So you are right, 100% right. So Sadhana Siddha, most of us, we can perfect our life through Sadhana Siddha by engaging, by taking the limbs of bhakti. Okay, Sadhana Siddha. But there are some example of Kripa Siddha also, where one receive the mercy of either devotee or receive the mercy of the Lord. So sadhana siddha or sadhana, we can come to the stage of bhava by sadhana, and by sadhana means Vyadhi Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti. From Vyadhi Bhakti come to Raganuga Bhakti, and then from Raganuga Bhakti continue going up, 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 and then come to Bhava Bhakti, and then Prema Bhakti. But by mercy, the mercy of Krishna or mercy of his devotee, another beautiful point. If you don't watch the, you know, recording, you can make a note. Some of these things will help you forever. So how we receive the mercy, vachika, you know, by talking and hearing. So vachika, okay, talking and hearing devotee, we receive their mercy. Okay, so if there is some exalted personality talking, and if we just hear, even we don't understand anything, we receive the mercy. So that another way you can understand the importance of listening, you know, by vachika, you know, and alok dan. So first one is vachika, Second one is alok dan, and alok dan is by having darshan, by serving. Okay, devotee, when pure devotee, powerful devotee, when they glance at you, when they glance at you, by that glance we purify. So you can see how important it is that we value each and every devotee very well, very respectfully. We should value each and every devotee because we do not know. But by vachika, by talking with them, by having some exchange, vocal exchange that we do, by serving them, by receiving their glance, and then by hridaya, you know, oh, devotee become very happy, and then they say that I'm very happy, or I pray that Supreme Personality of Godhead shower mercy upon you, you go back to home, back to Krishna. We should always, although we are not very advanced, but our prayer, our hridaya should always be praying for others. Always pray. Let Deepika Mataji become powerful devotee. Let Krishna give her all the potency and strength so that she can turn into exalted personality. If you see those, pray to Lord, my dear Lord, how this person can become a powerful devotee. Those is for us to help others, not to criticize other. If we are Kanishta Adhikari, we'll take another way, criticize it. But if we are, Madhyama and Uttama Adhikari, this is another important point to be noted. Then you would help dear devotees, dear friends, in a very humble way. People understand. Okay, so this hridaya, you pour your heart. Okay, and with the heart filled, they will bless. Husbands should always give the blessings to their wife. I don't know if I'm going back to home or not, but let Krishna take you back to him, back to Krishna. These are the way we can help other living being. So by hridaya, two ways. Sometimes Lord personally will empower, and Mataji brought the example of Jagai Madhai. Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda personally came and said that, Nityananda Prabhu said that, my dear Lord, you have basically incarnated to take people like Jagai and Madhai back to him, back to Krishna. If they don't, if you give them your love to these people, then people will understand your glories, that how how merciful, how munificent you are. So that's another example, one example. Second example is that when Narad Muni, devotee, met Mrugari, who was hunting and half killing the animals, and Narad Muni turned that person, Mrugari, into a pure devotee. Okay, so bhava can be attained by bhakti, by kripa siddha. Kripa siddha, in mathematical world, the probability of being a kripa siddha is like 0.00000000001, something like that, 1 by 10 to the power 9. That means there is no chance. Okay, so for ordinary living being, the only process we can become and come to the stage of bhava is that we engage in sadhana bhakti with the right mood, right attitude. Each and every aspect of bhakti that is at our disposal, it should be to please Krishna and to please devotee. Okay, so bhava is very powerful stage. By the way, I spoke on that subject. Please forgive me. I'll pray, Prabhupada to at least give me some degree of realization of what I spoke. Honestly, I'm not understanding this subject as much as I would like to, but at the same time, we have to get into it, and maybe on a surface level, maybe in a theoretical way, we have to talk, at least have some milestone. So with that, I would like to give a pause and see if there is any questions or any realizations or anything Now we don't have any class left, but I can see that one thing that I continuously saw, we did not do enough